Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have another Madden 25 roster update. Now, this video is more just important for the fact of I'm going to go over a lot of stuff that I've missed in recent videos, talking about certain things that are going to happen with both the roster and things that are currently happening with the roster. So first and foremost, I'm going to show you guys how to download it and how to get the newest roster that I have posted. So first things first, you will want to head down to Creation Center. You guys will want to head to Download Center as well. You guys will want to just push triangle or whatever is on Xbox. I think it is. Let me look real quick. Y. It is Y. It is the top button on the right-hand side of your basically controller, besides the back buttons, of course. And then you guys will want to head over to Type, go to Rosters, and then you guys will want to search by username. You guys can search by my username, GreenMachineSam. I don't know if it says something different on Xbox, whether it's a nickname or something like that. I think it is. But search by username, GreenMachineSam. It should pop up. This is for PS5, Xbox Series X/S, as well as PC. Then you guys will want to grab the latest one. It should be Madden 25 Offseason 3/22/25. That is the most up-to-date roster that I have. It has all the latest moves, including DJ Reed, Avante Maddox to the Lions, Muhammad back to the Lions as well. It has a ton of other stuff. Jordan Fuller to the Falcons, Akilla Witherspoon back to the Rams. It has Jack Gibbons and Garrett Bradbury to the Patriots. It has Rondale Moore going to the Vikings, as well as Tim Jones. It has a ton of stuff. Once you do download it, you do have to load it, whether you're going into franchise play now or even just editing the rosters or even wanting to look at the rosters. You do have to go ahead and load the roster. So you will want to go to load and delete in the Creation Center again, and you guys will want to load the roster here. Once it says file loaded successfully, you can go ahead and hop in. I always load it twice just to be safer than sorry, because like I said before, there was one time where I forgot to load the roster, ended up doing some stuff with the draft, realized it afterwards, and went, oh hey, I just made 20 rookies, and now I have to restart because I didn't load the roster. This was years ago at this point, but still nonetheless. And you guys will want to head into edit rosters, and they should be there. Now, of course, like I said, you do have to load the roster if you are starting a new franchise and going into franchise. If you're just going into a save file that you already have with the newest roster, you don't have to load the roster, right? But if you're going to go into a play now game, if you're going to start a new franchise, or if you guys are wanting to even just look or edit the rosters yourself, you will have to load it every single time, like I have said. Now, Joe Tooney's here, Grady Jarrett's here, all types of different players are on different teams now because of the new roster and free agency in the offseason. And like I said before, the Vikings ended up getting rid of course, Sam Darnold, traded for Jordan Mason, brought in Rondale Moore, and Tim Jones. So they have a little bit of a different receiving core now. Everybody has been moved, at least as best as I can. Now, of course, there are going to be guys that I do miss. So if there are any free agents that are currently still on teams, go ahead and let me know down below in the comments, and I will more than gladly release them and get them moved into free agency. One thing I do want to address is this, and I don't know what Ben Johnson plans on running as a defensive scheme. I don't remember who the D coordinator is, but since the Bears had a 4-3 last year and ran a 4-3 with Matt Eberflus, I cannot change schemes. I cannot change head coaches. I cannot change a lot of that stuff. So any teams that do have different schemes going into next year will have the players at their current schemes. Now, this really only affects teams team defense more than anything, because there's not different schemes per se on offense. There's different schemes, don't get me wrong, but there's not a different position. It just, Madden hasn't really made it more linear on the defense side of the ball and a little bit easier for positions. So unfortunately, there is some of that still goes on, right? If they're an edge in a 4-3, they're going to be listed as an end. If they're an edge in a 3-4, they're going to be listed as an outside backer, so on and so forth. And there's no difference between, of course, slot corners and stuff like that. But I can try my best to get things done. Now, of course, one thing I do want to go over as well with free agents is this. I can get years desired for contract correct. I can get that correct for the most part up to 3 years. Because if you go over here to quarterbacks, because this will probably be the easiest position to group to go over real quick. When signing a free agent in the edit roster section of Madden, right before you hop into franchise, signing a player is all determined off their overall. Now, here's what I'm going to say. The money I cannot change. I can't edit contract value at all. That's something I cannot do, at least on the PS5 side. Like I said, I'm going to try to move over to PC and see if I can change a lot more over there. But if I go to sign somebody, as you guys can see, Aaron Rodgers gets 3 years, whereas Joe Flacco gets 2. And you're like, okay, how do you get 1 year? It is anything below a 60 overall. Okay? So it's 59 overalls and below, get 1 year. And the most you can really get is about $850K with no bonus. And then you can go up to 75 overall, and that's where the 3 year kicks in. Okay, so it goes 3, 2, 1, based off of course, the player's overall. So there's a set limitation of what I can do with contracts and everything. Like I said, I can still get yearly stuff done. I just can't really change a whole ton. The cap value, the money value isn't going to be the same. Like I said, I can get yearly stuff done, but I can't really change a whole ton outside of that. And of course, like always, I can't change age. I can't change development. I can't change anything like that. We'll just go ahead and hop into somebody like Joe Tooney here real quick, just to show you guys really what I'm talking about. So if you go over to appearance and apparel, you can change all that. Contract info, I cannot change. As you can see, it's all grayed out. I can't do anything about that. That's not my fault. Abilities, can't change anything on that side either. And then attributes, I can't really change their development, right? I can't change what level of development you have, right? Normal, star, superstar, X Factor. And I can't change, of course, age. So that does leave a lot of limitations on the roster, unfortunately. But it still is a pretty good roster. You'll still be able to play with it. Like I said, I'm going to try to fix some stuff on PC side. It's not going to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. Madden probably has the worst roster management out of any of the big 3 sports games, or any of the big 4. I guess FIFA's pretty big too. Because it just has the worst roster management. It really does. It sucks. They put a lot of limitations on the roster. I think their thought process is, if we give them too much to work with, they're going to create a better roster than us, and nobody's going to want to buy the game the next year. Or not as many people, right? A lot of people might be willing to not buy the game. So there is that, unfortunately. Like I said, we went over schemes, we went over coaches, we went over free agency and contracts and stuff like that. I am getting jersey numbers fixed. A lot of big jersey numbers got changed, especially for a couple of the Lions players. DJ Reed moved to number 4. You saw Ricky Pearsall moving to number 1, taking over Deebo Samuel's old number. And then, of course, one that I kind of liked was Spencer Rattler going to number 2 as well. Of course, as jersey numbers gets announced, I'm going to be able to change them a little bit more. They're not going to get changed right away. I'm going to try to do my best to change them relatively fast. But, you know, I'm only going to update it whenever I'm going to be posting a new roster, right? I'm not going to be posting a new roster every day because 2 dudes got their jersey numbers changed and 2 backups that might not even make the team signed to a team, right? No offense to those guys, right? I'm not trying to discredit what they're doing. They're doing something that I think a lot of us wish we could be doing, which is playing in the NFL. So there is that. And of course, all free agency transactions have been updated as well. Jersey numbers that have been released have been changed as well. It's still a very good roster. You're going to like it. You're going to enjoy playing with it if you do want to play Madden still at this point. I know I'm kind of burnt out on it for the most part, but it's still a very, very, very good roster. And I do appreciate the support you guys have shown on the channel recently. This is, like I said, for Xbox Series S and X, PS5, and of course PC. Current gen, in my opinion, it's been 5 years. Time to upgrade, guys. So that's really it for the roster. There's nothing else that I really need to go over. I will go over one final thing. Is this? Well, actually, I have 2 now. Bobby Brown and Will Clapp. So Bobby Brown on the Panthers, and then Will Clapp on the Saints, center for the Saints. They got reset. Okay, so their players look like this. There's no way that I know how to change this or how to avoid this. If there's any other players like this, let me know down below, because if I can fix it on the PC side, I would like to fix it. Unfortunately, Not a ton that I can do right now, which is drastically unfortunate because you do lose your best defensive tackle on the Carolina Panthers. At least listed as a defensive tackle, right? I think Wharton and Derek Brown are definitely better. But, and then one final thing is this. I'm going to go over rookies real quick, because I know I was getting a couple questions about rookies and stuff like that. I will be making rookies. Okay, there's that. One thing that I do that a lot of people might not agree with is I scale my rookies. What I mean by that is every rookie is given an overall based on when they are selected. Some people don't agree with this, but I think it's the best way to do things. It keeps it unbiased and as fair as possible, right? Now, quarterbacks, kickers, and punchers have different overalls than the rest of the draft class. Their overalls kind of trickle down and are at lower set overalls. But the rest of the draft goes down overalls based off of picks. Now, it doesn't go overall for each pick because, of course, I can't do that. There's 250-something draft picks every year. But they go down in groups, right? So let's say number 1 overall is like Cam Ward. He'll start off as a 75. Number 2 overall, let's say it's, I don't know, Abdul Carter. He'll be the first regular overall. He'll be set in an 80. Let's say number 3 is another quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. He'll be a 74. Okay, so the quarterbacks go 75, 74, 73, 72, 71. But if there's only like 3 quarterbacks that go in the first round, it'll go 75, 74, 73. And then if there's a quarterback that goes in the second, he'll be listed as a 71. So we'll skip that 72. There'll be a drop-off because of the 1-round difference. And then he's the 4th quarterback. He'll be a 71. Now, and then it keeps dropping round by round, of course, and as well as just where we are at in the quarterback ranking. So if there's 10 quarterbacks taken, the highest he can be is about a 58, 59. Now, I will say, in some scenarios, I do boost him up just a little bit. Maybe to a 60. Just, it'll all depend on how many quarterbacks are taken, of course. But the rest of the draft class, so let's say 2 is Abdul Carter, 4 is, let's say, Travis Hunter. I don't have a draft mock off the top of my head. But let's say it goes 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'll be 80, 79, 78, 78, 77, 77, 76, 76, 76, 75. Now, this is not all set in stone as right now, and you may be asking why I don't make the rookies in advance and then change overalls as I go. It is because if you release them into free agency, it goes back to that free agency thing of their overalls affecting their contracts. And then, of course, the highest contract you can get is 3 years, whereas if I create it, at least a lot of the first-round rookies get that 5th year already added, and then it helps with, you know, progression inside the roster, right? Now, this, of course, is going back to last year when I couldn't change contracts. This year, if I can change contracts on the PC side, that will help benefit some things, and I could possibly start doing that. But then again, when you go in and edit a player, it doesn't show you their overall. I'll show you with Derek Brown real quick. When you're editing a player, it doesn't show you their overall. At least as of last year, when you were creating a player, it would show your overall. So for some reason, Madden just doesn't do this, and Franchise will do it. It'll show you all 3 of their archetypes, and then it'll show you what each overall for the archetype is based off of the stats you are changing. But there's no way of me knowing what Derek Brown's overall is. Let's say if I gave him 94 hit power and 98 block shedding. It would increase his overall, I know that, but I wouldn't know his exact overall to get him to a better point if I wanted to change his overall and make him what I thought of him. So that is the unfortunate part. Whereas if you go to create a player, you should be able to look and see, is there not, oh, here it is. I was going to say, whereas if you go to create a player, you can go to ratings, and it'll show you the overall at the top. Why doesn't it do that for fucking regular players? I have no fucking idea. No fucking clue. It's kind of stupid. It's just another thing that Madden and EA do ass backwards and just fucking don't think about for some reason. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I'm not a Madden dev. Not the smartest fucking person in the world, but that seems kind of fucking stupid. So there is that as well. And like I said, I'll be making the draft as it goes because I'm adding them to their team as they get drafted. And I'm creating the players as they get drafted. But with that being said, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video or any of the videos here on my channel, if you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns about the roster, any players that are on a team or aren't supposed to be on a team, go ahead and let me know down below. Now, of course, if you are seeing this after 3/22, and a player signs after 3/22 at 5 p.m., that player will not be on the roster right now or will not be on their correct team. The next update will probably come in 2 to 3 days. I'm thinking about doing every 3 days until free agency really slows down. And then once free agency does slow down, that's probably when we'll go to a week to 2 weeks. But by that time, we'll be at the draft. So there is that. But like I said, thank you guys so much for the support that you guys have been showing on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back with more videos like this. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.